Hey guys, what's up? Shin0525 here, coming at you with another video. And today's video, I want to talk about the fall of Nintendo. Kind of a clickbaity title, but I do think Nintendo is starting to fall off a little bit. And I don't really see it as a bad thing. I see it as more of like, this is probably the best thing that could happen to Nintendo right now. So, what I mean by Nintendo's falling off is I'm starting to see it, at least on my YouTube feed, my social media feed, that people are starting to take Nintendo off that pedestal they put it on. For the longest time in gaming, Nintendo was basically like what Disney is to movies. People viewed Nintendo to video games, where they're just like this very special company that created so many childhoods, and Nintendo is this like just irreplaceable gaming company that just can do no wrong. And honestly, they deserve that kind of sentiment with the games they made in the past. They basically, Nintendo has been synonymous with video games, huge, and again, they deserve praise like that. But not modern day Nintendo, not the Nintendo of today. So, and I'm starting to see people finally take Nintendo off that pedestal and start treating Nintendo like a normal game company, like they would treat Sony or Microsoft. And that is a great thing, because the problem with like putting Nintendo on this like high pedestal for so long is like you stop critiquing them and you let them get away with either being lazy or just being an overall shitty company. And modern day Nintendo is definitely getting to be a shitty company, where not only just the games they produce are good. I'm not saying that Nintendo's making bad games now. The games they're producing are still good, but you see a lot of things where they're getting greedy with raising game prices. They were the first ones to do it, raising the game prices to $80. They're lawsuit crazy. Like if you make a Mario mod, they are coming after you with lawyers, and it's ridiculous. And you even see them suing their competition, like Pal World, and then doing all these like crazy patents on like basic game features, where if you use a sphere to catch a monster, that's Nintendo's IP. You can't do that. It's getting ridiculous. So people are starting to see them from the business side as like, Nintendo, you're being pretty shitty here. And that's affecting people's opinions. And it started to chip away, and there are two big factors I want to talk about. The first factor is people are actually willing to give Nintendo alternatives a chance. And what I mean by that is you have big Nintendo IPs like Mario Kart, and Mario Kart is kind of being dethroned right now with Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. Now, you can argue about the quality of the game, stuff like that, but what you can't argue is people were finally willing to give the Sonic Racing game a chance. Now, my personal opinion, I think the Sonic Racing franchise, from the very first one all the way to Cross Worlds, all of those games are better than Mario Kart. They are a more arcadey, fun, fast racing experience, and I enjoy those Sonic games more than the Mario Kart games I've had ever since the very first one. But the problem with the Sonic Racing games is it was so similar to Mario Kart, and the fact that it was Sonic, Mario's direct rival, people were not willing to give those games a chance. They just wrote them off as not as good as Mario Kart, I'm not gonna play them. But now that Nintendo's kind of fallen off that pedestal, people are willing to give the competition a try, and people are realizing, and when I say people, I mean like normies, like just normal gamers that are just kind of like, they just know Mario Kart's better because they just hear Mario Kart's better, so they didn't try the Sonic game. Now they're trying the Sonic game, and they're realizing, holy shit, there's a lot of stuff that the Sonic game's doing that I wish Mario Kart would have done years ago. And again, it's just like, now that you're finally giving some alternatives a chance, you can see that like maybe we should be harsher on Nintendo. Maybe Nintendo should step up their game. Another franchise that I see that with is Pokemon. the new Pokemon game, I think it's ZA Legends, is about to come out, and it looks bad. Like, it doesn't look like not functional, like a glitchy mess, but it just looks like a game that's not up to like a Pokemon standard. And then when you look back, it's like Pokemon games have stagnated for like over a decade now. Like, it's just, we should expect more from a Pokemon game. And the new Digimon game, Digimon Story Time Strangers, is exposing that. And people are actually looking towards Digimon and starting to give Digimon a chance and realize, holy shit, this is really good. This has a lot of stuff I wish Pokemon was doing. And again, it's just like, since people are starting to like knock Nintendo off the pedestal, start looking at Nintendo like a normal game company, now they're going to start to criticize them, and that's the best thing for Nintendo. Because the problem with Nintendo was people just like harped on you if you criticized them, and when you don't criticize a company, they get stagnant, they do like shit, they become Nintendo basically. Like, if you look at like how Nintendo handles online, it is so archaic compared to like Sony or Microsoft, and it's just like, you should have been harping on Nintendo before that, but you got people that were just like, well, it's Nintendo, you know, they do their own thing, and it's just like, no, we should expect a like standard, especially when it comes to like online. We should have the ability to look up messages. We should have the ability to have achievements. We should have the ability to easily make a party for your multiplayer game. You should be able to transfer your fucking save data like through the cloud feature in a much seamless way rather than the way Nintendo does it. Nintendo is just so ass backwards, especially when it comes to online. But a reason they got away with it is because no one was willing to criticize them. You weren't allowed to speak out against Nintendo because like you got a bunch of Nintendo fanboys, and even like big parts of like the gaming like media just being like, well, you're not allowed. You're not allowed. You're wrong. They made fucking Mario Galaxy. You're not allowed to question it. Like, that's like the kind of response you would get, and it's just like for active, like valid criticism, it's just ridiculous. But I think now that Nintendo is starting to like screw up, people are starting to view Nintendo as just a normal company, the way they view Sony or the way they view Microsoft. They are willing, now that like people start viewing Nintendo like that, we can finally like start criticizing Nintendo and hopefully get them to start changing the way they do business. Rather on the business end, stop suing people, stop making ridiculous patents so other smaller companies can't make like similar games to yours, and like look at the competition. Give, you know, the Sonic Crossworlds a try. Give the Digimon games a try. Just don't stick to just Nintendo. Like, see what's out there, because there's a lot of other games out there that are like Nintendo games that are doing interesting things that should be incorporated into the Nintendo games. Again, Pokemon's the prime example of that. Pokemon has been stagnant for years, and this is why people are going over to Digimon Time Strangers, because Digimon's a breath of fresh air. Even though Digimon has been making consistently good games for like decades now that Nintendo's finally starting to fall off, people are willing to give these other games a try. Hopefully they realize now that, wow, there are better alternatives. So anyway, guys, those are all my thoughts. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. I love to talk to you guys about it. Other than that, I'm Shin0525, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, thanks, bye. Later.